Now, when I was still on my iPhone experimentation phase, I got the opportunity to try out a MacBook. Let me tell you about it. Now, someone that came from the world of Windows, it's different. It's different when you go to MacBooks. Yeah, the world is very different on the other side. And I'm always about trying new experiences, and in this specific point, I got a MacBook for a really, really good deal, and it was foolish not to take it, so I took it. Mama didn't raise no fool. So with Windows runs the world. Windows runs the world, at least my part of the world, and a lot of the productivity software that we use as creatives is majorly made for Windows, or was majorly made for Windows. Now things are a bit better. There's a much better integration, but generally Windows, I'd say, runs the world. The majority of computers in this side of the world run on Windows. Now, coming from Windows to Mac is hard. It's very, very hard. Talk about Android to iPhone. Not too bad, but Windows to Mac is completely different. Now, I say completely different because both the architectures are different. It's like from watching an English movie to listening to a dub of a French movie. So both architectures are different. So they move different. They run different. And my biggest pet peeve at the time was that the close button or the X button was a completely different side of the screen. The minimize button for Windows, and I say Windows, but I mean window, inside Windows, was a completely different color, and I would have to think and actually process this choice when I wanted to close a window, when I wanted to close a folder, when I wanted to close anything. I'd have to spend mental capacity thinking about which button does what, and that alone is enough to make anyone cry. Because with Macs, things move different. If you've never had a Mac and you're considering Mac, don't go Windows. If you're gonna go left all the way. If you're gonna have an iPhone, it's gonna want to connect with its peers. These things talk to each other in a way that nothing else that I've seen in this world does. Having a Mac when you have an iPhone is bread and butter. Having an Android when you have a Windows, they don't even know this. They don't even know that they exist in the same ecosystem. They don't even know that they're owned by the same person. But having any Apple product with another Apple product, they speak. They know when you're at home. They know when they're close to each other. They share things with each other. And I learned this completely by accident when I think I was on my MacBook and I copied something and accidentally long pressed on my iPhone and it said paste. I was like, paste? And upon clicking it, it actually did paste. It was a link, I think. And that was my first realization that these two gadgets were talking to each other. And it's a completely different experience, I tell you. They would know they're close to each other. Even without connecting via Bluetooth or wires or anything, just putting them in the same vicinity, connecting them to the same wireless network, like the same Wi-Fi, these two would communicate. And there was a seamless transition when it came to earpods. Because at a time I even had like Apple earpods, And if you're listening to something on the MacBook, then try to switch to the iPhone. They would switch automatically. Compared to in Android or in other ecosystems where you have to disconnect here, connect here, waste so much time, use up mental capacity. In iPhone, everything is seamless. It just moves with you. Delicious. I don't know why no one else has tried this, but it is definitely a game changer. It might be the main reason why I go back to iPhone, because a lot of these things are done for you. You do not have to spend mental capacity. They're done for you. They're really nice. But my main quarrel when it comes to a Mac is that a lot of my productivity apps. So this is what do you call it? Brain fart. So a lot of the productivity apps, so apps for editing, apps for voice editing, audio editing, graphic design, a lot of them, because we are pirates of the sea, I think they're a bit easier on the Windows side than they are on the Mac side. But the Mac side gets patches pretty quickly, I'd say. And if you're a member of the pirate life, you know what I mean when I say patches, because you could easily use a copy of Photoshop from the seas on Windows for years without thinking about it. But on the MacBook side, after about a month or 2 months, it starts to remind you of where it's from, and it encourages you very gently, encourages you to get it from the official Adobe store. And this is my biggest pet peeve, because again, creative productivity low, and I'm really having a hard time with keeping up to date with the patches, because every time there's an update on your Mac, it fixes all of these things, and you go back to being stuck. And once you begin a project in one software, it's very difficult to transition to another. So I still have not yet fully gotten used to having all my productivity done on the Mac side. And I'm fortunate that I have a PC that I could jump on when this other side is giving me headache. Yeah, it's tough. I would lie, it's tough. It's a bit difficult. But again, I'm always up for new journeys and new experiences. And yeah, I actually still have my MacBook up to date. I have thought about getting rid of it a couple of times, but it just grows on you. If you ever try an Apple product, it will grow on you. Best believe it will grow on you, and you will not be able to put it down. It's a cult.